Cool.
Ben. It's the FlairBar.com show. Welcome back. Ben Rose, your host here. Excited again. Man, Tales of the Cocktail 2009. I'm getting some of these celebrities, and if you don't recognize this guy next to me, it's Mr. Simon Ford. How are you doing?
How's it going?
Yeah. They just love you out here, and I want to tell you that, you know, it's been great watching you run around this place, actually, because I've seen you here, I've seen you there. All Tales of the Cocktail 2009. Are you tired yet?
Yes. quite frankly, I am absolutely knackered.
Well, now I'm learning so much about you, and I sense the accent. You're from Texas, right?
Louisiana, actually.
Louisiana.
I'm born and bred.
I thought Philip Duff was from Louisiana, and he wasn't. I didn't recognize his accent either. No, where actually you from?
I grew up in a town called Bath, but I moved to London when I was 19.
You grew up in a bath.
In a bath.
No, what was that? See, you know, we don't worry. We translate things for our non-U.S. visitors right across the bottom. No, where was that you grew up again?
It's called Bath. It's a very old Roman city.
Okay.
And, you know, like any small town, it gets kind of boring, so I got out as soon as I could.
Packed your bags and got out.
Yep.
Went to London.
Yep.
And what did you do from there?
I was actually working in a wine shop, managing a fine wine store on the Strand, just opposite the Savoy Hotel.
Okay. And now I know, just last night, one of the events we went to, and, you know, I'm a host. I got to be neutral at times, but one of the best events that I went to was the Bartender's Breakfast.
Yep.
Sponsored by Plymouth Gin last night. Amazing. Talk to me. What all went into preparing something like that?
A lot. I have to say, everyone around me has learned that I can be high maintenance every now and then. Normally I'm not.
High maintenance.
Normally not. Actually, normally not. But this, I was like, what pictures are being printed? I want to see them. I want to proof them before they go in. I want to have a book with everyone's recipe. I want 17 bars, which I ended up having to whittle down to about 9. You know, and obviously it was about 14 bartenders, making sure. And I'm like, I don't want anyone to go thirsty. Now we're in New Orleans, which is the home of insane music. It's one of the best music cities in the world, and I still ended up shipping a band in from Miami,
right around our hometown.
Yeah.
That's what you were saying.
And I guess I mean they were the bomb last night. That was one of the best parts. And I think that what I wanted to do is not just to be a Plymouth Gin party, but to actually collaborate with a lot of my favorite bars. So, you know, so we obviously had Milk and Honey, Death and Company, PDT Employees Only. You know, the Contemporary Cocktails team produced all of the cocktails for everyone, badged them up, so the bartenders could just come in and be stars. So we, you know, it's been a lot of elements. We had a group called Legacy do the sort of production side. Contemporary Cocktails did the, you know, batching of cocktails, brought the bars in, you know, and then of course there was myself, you know, just shouting at everybody and saying, I want this, I want that, and that's where the high maintenance comes in.
Now, I got to look at this. Time out, break, cut this, edit. You got to take that?
No.
You sure?
Yeah.
All right, let's go back. We'll edit that back.
I'll call him in a minute.
Okay. After let's say
Tony Tagliatelle. It's fine.
I actually thought it was Tony Cogburn, and I was going to take that call live. I was going to say take that call live. All right, here we go. Now let me ask you exactly what is Simon doing now? Like your job title, who you working with right at this time?
Well, Pernod Ricard obviously recently purchased the Absolute Spirits company.
Correct. Big family with FlairBar.com. Absolute sponsor with us.
Yeah, no, of course, and obviously you know, I've been working for the Absolute Spirits company for since 2005. But I used to work on Absolute a long time ago, back in the days of Ideal Brands in the UK. But that was purchased, and so of course all of our portfolio got moved over. So, and it's sort of in the restructure. They've just made me the director of trade outreach and brand education. So I've been working on education pieces for our whiskey portfolio, for our gin portfolio, and actually for Absolute as well. Okay. And then on top of that, it's all about trade affinity. So producing events like the Bartender's Breakfast. So it's really about looking at bartenders as a demographic and doing what we can to support the community of bartenders, you know, which is something hasn't been happening for a long time. And you know, I mean, about 5 or 6 years ago, it really became a big focus for brand companies. But there was a big period when it wasn't. You know, there was only a few people like Philip Duff doing this, you know, around the world. But now it kind of seems to be a very competitive field between brand companies who are employing top bartenders. They're employing big personalities of the industry and really sort of going out and trying to engage the bar industry with their brands. So that's really you know, Pernod Ricard are actually sort of weren't really doing that in the US until about a couple of years ago. So I'm kind of an addition to that department.
Now, if people want to find more information about, now Plymouth Gin sponsors Old Bartender's Breakfast. If they want to find out more, they're going to go to the website of plymouthgin.com.
Yep, www.plymouthgin.com.
3 W's.
Yeah.
Right?
No, that's a difficult thing to do after the bartender's breakfast.
It is, isn't it, you know? Now, and it's plymouthgin.com. You can find out more information about that. So definitely check that out. I want to get into some other things at this time. And of course, with my show, we're controversial because we're not on network TV.
Sure.
We haven't been signed up yet. But you're an old fan of Flair bartending, I hear.
I am, yeah,
You
of
used to be a
course.
Flair bartender, basically. Those people are sitting there going, I recognize that, but you used to Flair yourself.
I never really did, actually. I got to tell you the honest truth is I've always...
Lay it out. Give me the truth right here.
I've always loved Flair bartending, and I was never very good at it because I never worked in a Flair bar, but I did work in a classic cocktail bar that for about 2 hours of every night had about 3 customers. So I'd stand behind the bar and I'd be flipping bottles and, you know, and practicing, but never had any formal training. I did actually get the opportunity to go to South Africa and then go to Kurt's, did this kind of Flair school, and that was kind of fun. So I learned a lot of my moves there, and then of course everybody who knows me knows that all I ever do is throw bottles around there.
Actually, believe it or not, we had a guest on our show. I think it was it Phil Raimondo or Toby Ellis? One of them was on our show, and they said, you know what, they do events with Simon, and they always see him on the side. flipping, putting something in his hand. And
No, then I'm just doing that, right? Exactly, yeah. That's all I ever do.
Right here on the show, baby. Now, let me ask you this, too, because I've been asking different bartenders, because I've noticed this, and I'm an outsider, so I kind of noticed this. You have Flair bartenders, then you have mixologists.
Sure.
Okay? And basically, sometimes the mixologists don't like the Flair bartenders, and sometimes the Flair bartenders don't like the mixologists. I've been asking several different people about this. But yet, I feel, being an outsider, let's meet in the middle. They could all get along at the end of the day. Toby actually said a good thing about it, and now I've kind of coined it because I want to ask all you guys about it. Where can we get from outside here to get everybody together on the same page? Do you have any advice?
Well, one of my favourite places to see Flair bartending was always actually the Lab Bar, because it wasn't a Flair bar, but they would pull in the odd Flair guy every now and then, and the guy, they might just throw the bottle, and you know, and then it's on, and that bottle's being thrown on its way and on its journey back to where its destination was to be. Catch it back there, or something, flip it and bring it forward. It actually was part of not only making the theatre so much more enjoyable of watching that drink, and of course it looks fucking cool, right? It looks cool, if you need to edit that.
And I could translate that.
Yeah.
It's fucking cool. See, I understood that translation. See, I'm learning. I'm picking up here. So go ahead.
So that was really enjoyable. Of course, I've been to Flair bars where, you know, you're there and you're fighting, and the guy's standing in front of you and he starts, you know, you say, oh, can I have a Budweiser? And he starts going and he grabs his bottles and he starts doing this. And then, of course, some good-looking girl comes up next to you and he's like doing the flip and he stops. He goes, what are you having? And you're like, hey, where's my Budweiser? You know? And so that type of Flair bartending is obviously what turned people against bartending, because, you know, or against Flair bartending. And, of course, if you think about these mixologists, they're doing exactly the same thing. It's just they don't know how to throw bottles. But they're going, you know, and taking their time and making a spectacle out of what they're trying to do. It's a certain type of Flair bartending in its own right. And what the other guys are doing over here is putting on a show, you know. And I got to tell you, without Flair bartending, there wouldn't have been a transition to classic bartending anyway, because that's what got people interested in bartending again in the first place.
Yeah, and I think these Tales of a Cocktail event, bringing everybody together, it's a really cool event. Speaking of that, of the whole Tales of the Cocktail 2009, what was your overview of this whole event this year?
I really enjoyed this year. I mean, I guess I'm coming off of the buzz of the bartender's breakfast, and it's the first opportunity I got to let my hair down.
We're all coming off the buzz from bartender's breakfast. But go ahead.
You know, I mean, right up until after the first hour of bartender's breakfast, when you know, there was a big crowd outside, and there was people that I couldn't get in, and that was upsetting me a little bit. And then enough drinks got into my system that I learned not to worry about all of my friends outside last night. Sorry, the friends that didn't get in that I wasn't worried about, and just go in and enjoy it. And after that particular period, that was like just the best 3 hours of my entire Tales experience, because up until then it was back-to-back seminars. We put on an event called Dine with the Distillers, you know, because we had Sean Harrison from Plymouth Gin and Desmond Payne from Beefeater in town. There was an event every night. We sponsored the awards ceremony, so we worked at that. So yeah, very
matter
much.
of fact, hold up right there. We have to take a break, but I want to talk a little about the awards ceremony
Sure.
when we get back. I also probably want to get you over to our Mixology bar. We have more with Simon Ford right after this.
Cool, thank you.